All I can do is laugh right now because something is going on with my normal system I use to go live, but I'm here pretty much almost 15 minutes late, but that is okay. Hopefully, people will get on. A little bit of some technical difficulties. I'm also going to get live on Instagram again because yes, I don't know what was going on with the internet connection, something strange, but welcome to the replay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Tatiana. I'm a business coach and mentor for women wanting to start their own businesses. And I'm really excited today to talk to you all about embracing change in your life and your business. Thank you all for getting on. I had some technical difficulties. It was just not working on my other system. Then I had to log into a whole different system. And yeah, so we're finally here. We're good. Let me know where you all are watching from. How is your week going so far? I'm excited to be here. I'm back at home now. If you haven't been keeping up with me, I was out of town for about the last month or so. So I'm excited to be back on here in my normal environment. So I'm going to start back on Instagram again. I had started Instagram and then YouTube wasn't loading. I use Ecamm Live typically for going live. So if you're ever interested, but for some reason it was having issues. So now I'm on StreamYard. So hopefully it's not glitchy or anything like that. I haven't used StreamYard in a while. So anyway, today we are going to be talking about embracing change within your life and business. And welcome, Instagram. I just clicked live. We are just going to dive right in. I had some technical difficulties, but we're going to dive right into this topic of embracing change within your life and business. And what actually sparked me to talk about this is that this is my birthday week. I'm excited. It's kind of one of those things. I feel like once you kind of get in your 30s, it's like, at least for me, like I'm still grateful for my birthdays. I'm still, thank God every day. But at the same time, I'm like, man, I'm getting old. This gray hair is starting to show. But I also find that I am becoming so much wiser. I'm learning a lot. I feel like I'm able to just give even more of myself in terms of just the things that I am experiencing within life. And so it's definitely bittersweet, I guess, as you get older. And I'm sure you guys, some of you may be able to relate with me. Let me see, where do you all stand? And hello, welcome on Instagram. Let me know where you guys are watching from as well. Thank you. Yeah, my birthday is on Thursday, August 4th. Let's see. Oh, watching from Georgia. Hello. Watching from Arizona. Cool. Very cool. I'm hoping to take a trip to Arizona in a couple of months to visit my sister. She lives there. Yes, glad you're able to catch a live. Thank you, Takia. Oh, yes, your daughter's birthday is tomorrow. That's exciting. I feel like Leo's August is just the whole thing. So happy birthday to your daughter. Hey, Renee. Someone asked me how old I am. They say you're not supposed to ask people how old you are, but I don't mind. So I will be 32 on Thursday. So thank you all for the birthday wishes and everything. And so that was really why I wanted to get on and talk about this because I love to reflect. Sometimes I do it in a pre-recorded video, but I thought it would be fun to get on live and talk to you all now. Because of the technical difficulties, I do have a call that is at 3:30 my time, so I won't be able to stay on as long as I wanted to just due to the issues, but that is okay. We're still going to have a good time. So the first thing I wanted to mention before I dive into the full topic and everything is that I do have a business birthday bundle that is available right now. It is a bundle that is 3 different things that I have as part of some of my products. So it includes a mini course called The First 10. It includes the Creatives Toolbox, and it also includes the planner and notebook ebook. So the 3 of these come together in a bundle. Typically, they're, I want to say like a little over $200. They're bundled together for $97 just for my birthday week, so to the end of this week. And it is for anyone that is not only trying to start a planner or a notebook, but just a product-based business in general. All of these things are bundled together for you, and you get that mini course. You also get those 2 ebooks, and it's really going to help you to get started, get some steps, get going. So if you are wanting to get started this year, I know we are in a full-on recession right now, just a lot going on. And so this is just one of the many ways that I'm trying to help lend what I can to you all And these 3 things will really get you started, help you get going, especially if you have some business ideas you want to get started for this year. So make sure you check that out. The link will be in the description on YouTube, and the link will be, it should be in my stories here on Instagram, but you can also find it in my bio. I'll make sure I link it after this live. So anyway, let's get into this topic about embracing change. So I want to just ask anybody, how do you feel about change? Because I think as I've gotten older, I definitely am more open to it. I've warmed up to it a lot more. I don't know if it's just been like the 2020 experience or if it's just with getting older or what it is, but I feel like before the version of me prior to this newer me, I guess, was really just not open to change. Like I like to kind of be with the same people. I had my people and that was it. I like to make sure I knew this is what I was doing. And so I felt like this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm doing. This is my thing. And then anytime something would happen that kind of went against what I felt was the norm for me would feel very foreign. I would be very disobedient. I wouldn't act quickly. And a lot of times I would just be questioning things like, you know, well, am I like not being true to myself, because I'm changing or my views are changing on certain things, just a lot of different things. So I'm curious, just like, how do you all feel about change personally? Let me see. Someone said it's freezing. I hope not. Okay. It looks like it's back working. Okay. So I will answer questions at the end as well. Okay, I love what Created by EJF said. I have it's complicated relationship with change. And then Takia said, I love change, but I do have my I'm okay moments more often than not. Narissa said, I hate change. Girl, I feel it. I feel everybody because I have been in all of these different places at different times. And if you have been watching my YouTube channel for a while, there was a song that I used to have as my intro song. Let me know if I got any OG people on here, called Change is Crazy, that I had recorded years ago. And it used to be my intro song for my channel and stuff. And so what's interesting is, like, when I did that song, I want to say maybe like 19 or 20 when I recorded that. And at the time I had recorded it because my great grandfather had passed away. And that was a huge change in my life. I was extremely close to him. And it was just all about just so many changes happening. And so anyway, I wanted to talk about this because I have been going through so many changes recently, more so within business in a lot of ways. Definitely some personal things as well. I feel like just overall, I am just becoming a different woman than what I thought that I would be. And I think sometimes that can even be the change where we have to accept. I've told my story before of just where, like, I thought I would be doing one thing. I thought I would be doing music and kind of be going this route. And then here I am. Now I'm coaching and I'm on YouTube and it just looks very different. And so for years, that was a change that was hard for me to accept because I felt like I had failed what I originally had planned to do for my life. So that was really a big change for me. And some of the things I want to share with you all, as of course, I have points to talk about, is just how I have been able to pivot in my life and in my business, even when it's been some very difficult moments for me, and just hope to encourage somebody. That's really all that I'm here to do, is just to encourage, share a bit of what I know, and kind of just reflect on over the years. So the first part of this is to explain to you all that I feel change to me equals growth. I think that even though we've said our different feelings, like we hate change, we think it's complicated, we don't really understand it. It's kind of like sometimes we embrace it, sometimes we don't. I think the biggest thing to realize is if you are feeling like something is being forced to shake you, to change you, to make you look at something a little bit differently. I know for me, I definitely didn't come out of 2020 the same person that I went in 2020. So it's just so many things of just growth in mindset, growth in how you view the world, how you want to show up in the world, so much of that. And so I think if you view change as more so growth, I think that you will be like, okay, like, I'm becoming a better person. I'm becoming more wise. I'm going to be able to do this. And I think that if it's something that's negative, I always feel like we go through these things because we can help other people. We can share these changes and things that we're dealing with that may seem so just crazy to us now, and then it can help someone else when they are going through that. And so I feel like when you are going through a specific season where you are going through a big change, um, sometimes it can be really hard to just embrace that and go for it right away. And so, one example of that for me was when I had graduated from college. This was back in 20, well, I graduated in 2012, but this was in 2014. So in 2014, I was in kind of like a toxic relationship, y'all. Like it was pretty bad. Um, and I also was not in any type of career that I was super happy with. I was still living with my parents. I just felt like I had failed in life. I'm like, I'm a couple years out of college. Things are not going quite how I expected them to go. And so I decided, well, actually, it wasn't right away. I started getting this feeling of like, you should move. And originally, I thought I was going to be living in New York. That was like my whole plan. Like, I had my entire thing ready to go. And so I thought I was going to be living there. And when that didn't pan out, I was with my parents in Ohio. So I ended up reaching out to my grandparents who lived in North Carolina. They had been there for probably maybe 3 or 4 years at the time. And I asked them, I was like, hey, would you be open to me coming down there to live with you for a little bit? Possibly seeing if I could find a job. I really just wanted kind of a change of pace. I wanted a change of scenery. I had finally ended that relationship and I was just ready for a fresh start. I was ready to get out of there. And I felt that inkling for majority of that year, but it wasn't until that summer that I finally asked them and was like, hey, can I move with you? And what I will say is, even though I had put that thought off and I just continued to be like, oh, that would be too difficult. I don't want to leave my family and friends. What am I going to do when I get there? I don't know anybody. There was all of these reasons that told me not to do it, but God kept placing it on my heart to do it. And so when I finally moved there, it wasn't like things happened immediately, but through that, I ended up meeting my husband. I ended up realizing I wanted to be an entrepreneur. So I really came into who I am. I started multiple businesses there, including the stationery Muse. I was a photographer. I did so many different things. I started my YouTube channel while I was there. Just so many parts of myself started from that move. It was like I had become this new woman, right? And it was all just because I moved to a different state. And so even though I was very against it at first, I had all of the reasons of why it wouldn't work. I finally just was like, you know what? I'm going to take the leap. And so for you, it may not be anything as big as like making a big move across the country. I've done this twice now because then we turned around and moved to New Mexico, again, away from family and friends, a couple of years later. So I know all too well about big change and having to embrace it and not quite understanding it. So I definitely understand it from that standpoint. And I just feel like the biggest piece of advice I can give with that for you is if you have something that has been on you for a while and it feels scary or it feels like foreign to you or just something where you're like, that don't seem right. I always pray about things. I sit on things for a while. I really just pray and seek God. And I keep asking him, like, are you sure this is what you want me to do? Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? Like, y'all, like I'm one of those. Like I can be very disobedient a lot of times because I just want to make sure, like, is this really the right move? Is this really what you're wanting for me to do? And so I think a lot of times with these changes for me, it's always something I never pictured myself doing. When I tell you I never wanted to be an entrepreneur, like it was the farthest thing from my list. And so it's just so funny that that's what I preach about now, I feel like. Let me see. Anita Hay, she said, understandable change and accepting the different seasons of life as it happens, especially with getting older. Yes, I think I am learning to embrace it a little bit more because now that I have had so many big changes happen and I see that I'm still here, I'm still breathing, and 9 times out of 10 things end up going just, like they go okay or even better. It's fine. Like when I had my daughter, I was scared to become a mom. There was a point in my life where I didn't think I wanted kids. And it wasn't for any particular reason. I think it was just out of fear. And then that shift in me changed. And all of a sudden, I was like, oh, I would love to be a mom. And that was a huge life change. That was such a big deal to me to become a mother and to start just viewing things differently. So many changes on the more business side of things. Just to share another story with you all, let me see what anyone's saying over on YouTube. So late. Oh no, you're not late at all. We're just chatting. The replay will be up as well. So just, stay tuned. This is just a good live conversation. Anyone feel free to chime in with anything or your experiences of maybe where you had a major change you had to embrace, how that was for you. I would love to be able to share that while we're on here live as well. But a really big one for me, and I know many people that are follow me on YouTube or maybe a while ago found me because of my subscription box. So I had a monthly subscription box that I did for my stationery business. And at the time, it would have been my third year doing it. And so I had my daughter, I started the box in 2017. I had my daughter towards the end of 2018. And in 2020, I started to feel like I needed to stop doing my subscription box. So again, it's like, okay, God, you want me to stop the subscription box? It was going really well. I feel like it was kind of, I would say, at the top in a way, like it was doing great, but I was also really burnt out. I was feeling like I couldn't continue to come up with these ideas. I was coming up with a new theme every month. I was having to show up every single month to create a lot of handmade products because a lot of it was handmade. A lot of logistics and different things like that went into it. And I really just was kind of scared at the idea of stopping the box. I felt like, okay, well, if I stop the box, that's kind of all the Stationary Muse is known for. I felt like this. And that's what I was telling myself. I'm like, well, if I stop the box, no one's going to be interested in shopping with me. And so I put that off for, I would say, close to a year. Close to a year, was feeling like I needed to stop the box, but I kept going. I was a new mom, I had a newborn, and it was just all of these different things going on, trying to juggle it all, but I still kept going with it. So I even had switched it to bi-monthly at one point because I was just like, okay, maybe if I do bi-monthly, it won't be as much work. I'll be able to still dedicate time to other things. And then it still just didn't feel right. And so eventually I decided, I never even really announced it. I kind of just was like, oh, the box is going on a break. Because I still was not accepting the change that was taking place. I was like, okay, the box is going on a break. And it never came back. And people were asking too. They're like, oh, well, what happened to the box? And I just would tell them kind of on a one-on-one basis, just like, oh, well, I decided not to do it anymore and all of that. So that was a really big one for me because I think a lot of times when we are faced with the decision to change, and you tell me if I'm wrong, sometimes we feel like we identify with something. So I felt like my identity was that box. I felt like my identity was becoming a singer and, doing all of that for me. I felt like these different identities I had, if I was to make this big decision, well, who would I be? Right? Like it's almost like, okay, now who am I going to be? What will I be known for? What's my thing if I'm giving up this thing that like I've always known or that I've always been comfortable with? So that is really the biggest and scariest part of the change for me is the reinventing of self, because I think it just naturally has to happen when you are trying to figure out what this new version of you is going to look like. So let me see. A couple of you responded in the comments. Hello to everybody getting on and off on Instagram. We're just chatting about embracing change in your life and business. So feel free to comment some things that you've experienced within your life that has been a huge change that you had to overcome and how that's going. That's what we're chatting about. So let me see. Oops. Uh-oh. Instagram might take a second to come back. I had got a call. Okay, so let me see. Narissa said, yes to motherhood. I planned for my second baby, but it was still a scary change. But she's still the best thing we did. Yes, yes. I think kids can be such a blessing. I feel like I was just talking to my accountability partner yesterday, Shalina, who is absolutely amazing. And we were just talking about how motherhood is just so difficult. It's like you love them so much, but it's so difficult. Like y'all, like if only people who don't have kids, like if only you knew the half, or maybe there's a reason you don't have kids. I don't know. But it's just one of those things where it is like the most beautiful thing that I experience every day, but it is also one of the most challenging things at the same time. And Emery is constantly testing her boundaries up in here. Okay. Let me see. We said, I really relate to your feelings about being fearful of being a mother. I was also fearful of being a stay-at-home mom, but now I love it all. Exactly. And that's another thing for me. I'm glad you said that. I don't want to mispronounce your name. Is it Sequoia? Sequoia. I hate when people mispronounce my name, so I always feel bad. But let me know how to pronounce it. Um, that was another thing. I didn't see myself being a stay-at-home mom in a million years. I was supposed to be touring on stages right now. Okay. That's what I was supposed to be doing. So that was a big change. So I completely relate to that. But yes, I would not have it any other way either. Takia said, motherhood for me too. I was convinced it wasn't for me, and now I have two, and neither were planned, but I wouldn't trade them for the world. Oh, Jaleesa said, hey, Jaleesa. Said, yes, we definitely attach ourselves to something that fits well, but we have to realize life is full of seasons. Something that fits well as a title right now may not fit well. Ooh, okay. You hit it on the nail, and I'm going to share something with you all on this live that may or may not surprise you. I don't know. But Jaleesa, you just hit it on the nail with what you just said. And you also said motherhood is a beautiful mess. It definitely is. Created by EJF said, I feel this so much. I just last month made a decision to close my cookie business. Oh my goodness. I definitely understand that. I remember my mom. So my mom, I used to actually talk about her business quite a bit. Instagram, y'all don't know battery, so I don't know how long it's gonna last. We'll see. But my mom, she had a bakery business called Sweet Crumble that she ended up closing. And I could tell she was battling with that as well. But it was just she's been in such a busy season of life. So I definitely understand that. It's a hard decision, but you like you said, now you feel relieved. Um, let's see. Narissa said yes, too difficult. A tantrum, yet tantrums. I was telling Shalina like yesterday, I was telling her, I was like, I be wanting to throw a tantrum. Okay. Like I be wanting to throw a tantrum sometimes, just from the pure reaction to their tantrum. So yes, the tantrums is just a whole thing. Hey, Crystal said, I moved to Georgia last year with my husband and four children. It was all God, but we left everything, then got pregnant right after moving. Oh my gosh. Well, congratulations on, I'm assuming, the baby that's coming. That's a huge deal. I think, yeah, I feel like God's got us, even though we feel like we're alone, even though we feel like we don't see what's getting ready to happen, but he already knows. And if you feel that push to do something, it'll be fine. It'll work out. So let me just look at my notes, make sure I covered everything before I talk about the last little bit of what I was going to say. So the main thing, I always like to give some action steps, even though there's not really any tangible action steps with this. But the main thing that I wanted to say about it all is that we all go through change. I think a lot of times it can be very easy on social media to see what other people are doing and how they're navigating these big changes. And it seems like they didn't miss a beat. It seems like things just fell into place for them. But the reality is, like for me, when we moved here, at first, I was fine. At first, I was like, oh, this is great. Like I was kind of like, even though people were saying this isn't the West Coast, but compared to living in Ohio and North Carolina, this is the West Coast. And so it's like moving here is a whole different vibe. We got like a mountain view and all this stuff. But then after I had my daughter, that was really where it hit me of like, oh, I'm really lonely. And luckily, I ended up meeting some pretty amazing people, Jaleesa being one of them, that really helped me feel like I had family here. But I really struggled and still struggle, even though I don't always talk about it. I have my moments like, I wish I could spend holidays with my family. I wish my family could see my daughter grow up and be able to see her on like a weekly basis and things like that. So there's always struggle behind the pretty pictures and behind the people smiling. There's always something that we are dealing with. But I think like everything else, it's like we don't want to harp on all of the negative things, but they do happen. So definitely that, know that you are in good company, know that change is hard, but it's definitely something that we all need to experience for many, many reasons. And so I'm going to share a big change with you all in a moment. I want to just share really quickly, though, beforehand, for those that have kind of hopped on later. The birthday business bundle is available. It's a bundle that I've put together with three of my kind of, I would say, popular, but also just really good and quick win resources for you. It is one of my mini trainings called The First 10, and it's my two ebooks, the Planner Notebook ebook and the Creatives Toolbox. So you can read all about it when you click on the link to kind of see what they are. I also have a community post on YouTube if you want to see about that too. But I just wanted to share that it's only $97 for the three of them. It's a super discounted just for this week. This is my birthday week. So I just wanted to share that as a reminder. But my big change I want to share, because I'm rushed now because of the technical difficulties at the beginning. So I have decided, it's weird to say this, but I have decided that I will be closing the Stationary Muse. Um, okay. For now. So I don't like to ever say forever because I don't ever want to, I don't know. I like to just say see you later. I'm going to do a whole video on this more in depth because I don't want to be on here crying with y'all. So I'm not going to get into it too much. But I wanted to share that change because it's huge. A lot of people found out about me from the Stationary Muse, right? A lot of people found my channel for that. A lot of the reasons that I fell in love with entrepreneurship and helping women was because of the Stationary Muse. So it's definitely an identity thing. It's definitely the title that Jaleesa was talking about when she was saying something that fits well as a title right now may not fit well next season. And that is where I am. So I'm going to share a lot more in my video that will be coming up on Thursday, which is my birthday. Thank you all again for the birthday wishes. But that is the big thing. Now, I still will have products. I still am going to be talking about stationery here and there, but I feel like I have so much more to share, so much more to offer. And I just felt like I had kind of put myself in a box and I was starting to get unhappy. I really was. So that is what's happening. I've already kind of started making some shifts and changes of things I'm talking about on the channel a bit. So you may be seeing that happening, but I really am just here to live out my purpose of helping women and to serve you all. And this new chapter is the Inspired Blueprint. This new chapter is me being able to show up and help others get out of their way, to help them succeed, help them see the light that they have within themselves. That is what I am so passionate about. And that is really what I will put my full focus in. I think I was just feeling so guilty because there was this Stationary Muse, and I'm like, well, how can I let that go? And some of my clients know this is something I've been battling with. I actually have been praying about this for the last year. So this did not happen overnight. And I really did not even realize it until my Atlanta trip when I was driving back. And I just had prayed. I was like, oh, I just really want like an answer. Like when I tell you I've been praying about this for the last year. And when I was driving, it was finally like, okay, I think I know what I'm doing. So yes, like I said into it is very huge. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what that looks like, but products are still going to be around. Bun Girl is actually going to be shifting to the Inspired Blueprint, so she's not going anywhere. So if you love her, she will still be around. But I think for now, I need to close that chapter. And yeah. So I am a person that as I've gotten older, I've learned to just be more obedient. Because every time I do that, when I decided to start business coaching, I was obedient. And then I saw the blessings that God had for me in that. And so even though this is huge for me and I really have been questioning it along the way, I know that God's got me and I know that there is something down the horizon for me. So I want to just read the comments really quick. Takia said, change is beautiful. And for me, I'm here for it. And for you, congrats on the future. I can't wait to see this new journey. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, wow. Yes, a big change. I know it is a huge, huge change. Never ignore a hunch. Hey, fellow Leo. Hello. Oh, happy belated birthday, Erica. Well, chosen by Erica. Thank you all for the comments. El Jaleesa said, proud of you for being brave and trusting that you know what you're doing because you're top tier. Oh, thank you. Yeah, y'all. So that is the big announcement. Like I said, I'm going to share a little bit more in depth on my video Thursday that'll be going up on my birthday. But yeah, it feels like with every year there has been like a major decision I've had to make or something that I've had to accept, and I'm just like, what is this? You know, like what is all of this? And especially when you tie yourself to something and you feel like, and it's going to sound bad, but when you feel like that's kind of all that you are good for in a way, or if you feel like, well, that's kind of it, like this is my thing and I can't really be successful with something else, which is very deep when you feel like that, it's hard to be like, okay, well, if I let that go, well, now what's next? And so I've been slowly making the moves to making this happen. Like when I switched the name of this channel. So, I mean, it's been in the making for a while, but this was kind of the last step. So I'm excited that I was able to share that with you all that were on. Look out for that video on Thursday. I'll be going a lot more in depth and just kind of reflecting on the stationary muse and just sharing more about some of the upcoming things that are happening with me and the Inspire Blueprint and all of that stuff. But I really just love getting on talking to you all. I wanted to just share this. I wanted to come on and just celebrate my birthday coming up in a couple of days and just say that change is beautiful. It really is. It's difficult. It's hard to accept. When I tell y'all I done cried so many times about this, it's not even funny. So change is beautiful once you embrace it within your life, within your business. You grow every single time. You learn every single time. You become even more so the woman that you may not even know that you're being called to be, but that God is trying to call you to be. So that's pretty much all that I have. Yes, that's pretty much it. So I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of the week. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you all next time. Bye.